Thank you, Chairman, and I'd like to welcome. Just one question as such, but what I can't understand is that we'll say IFA figures, Teagasc have figures, and Teagasc feed back into the government. I can't understand why there was a paltry 7 million package there a month or two ago, given when there's such a crisis in the pig industry at the moment, and it looks now as if there could be another 13 million, which isn't anywhere near what's needed, with a 10% cut off of the herd, which is an astonishing situation that pig farmers will find themselves in. And some of them are paying up to 70% more for their feed. I've been talking to in the pig industry in West Cork, even up to last night, and some have gone out of business or are going out of business. It's a very serious situation. And I think that the government are slightly out of touch, and the minister's very much out of touch on this one. But I might ask you, Tim, could you explain why the pig and poultry industry are outside of cap payments for their food products, which are 100% quality assured, welfare compliant, nitrate compliant, and is also a land-based enterprise due to the fact that all products consumed by the animal is land-based, and all products excreted by the animal is excreted back into land-based. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Callahan.
Thank you, Chairman, and Deputy Fitzmaurice first. Both, you're right. I did mention on board BIA, and there is trade missions underway before the end of April. Actually, the board BIA are going on a trade mission to the US and to Mexico as well, I think, which is welcome because, as I said already, there is a demand for pig meat in Mexico, so I think that's important. But look, we always need to be striving for new markets, and I suppose we were the sector that paved the way in China for many, many years. And I suppose how this crisis came about was, what happened, the events in China in 2018, 2019 with African swine fever created a massive demand for pig meat all over the world, and thus the price increased. And what happened then was, obviously there was an expansion all over the world as well, and the Chinese now are back producing a lot of pig meat themselves, and that market is more difficult at the moment.
Was there much of an increase in Ireland in percentage-wise?
Yeah, last year over 60% of our exports would have went into the Chinese market, which was a substantial amount of pig meat. And there was a lot of work done with the processing sector here in Ireland to develop that market over the years, to give credit as well from that point of view. So a lot of work was done there, but now there is a concern around China. So again, you're right, we need to keep evolving. We need to be seeking out newer markets, continuously. That's the nature of the business, the same as any other sector in agriculture. And I suppose, look, you make the point about the credit. You're right. This is very, very worrying at the moment. It's about farmers having the cash to pay for feed. It's as simple as that. The price that farmers are obtaining for their pigs at the moment won't even cover the cost of feed, and then you have all the other incidental costs after that. So that there lies the problem, and you make the point. Many farmers are giving up on going back in and rebreeding sows. As we say, the figures we have is we could look at 10% leaving the sector at the moment, and if we cannot get a solution to this, we are clearly told from Teagasc that we could see 30% of the farmers will make that decision in the months ahead. That's how serious it is, And I suppose Deputy Collins, so you're on the screen there, and you're right. Look, coming with a 7 million package, and look, and we always acknowledge any funding we get from the state. We understand this taxpayers' money, but look, it just wasn't enough because we see here what we're discussing here, the enormous amount of credit that's involved in the sector, with a very small number of farmers. We acknowledge all of that, but and again, looking at the 13 million, we obviously, if this is to be the case, we'll always acknowledge receiving taxpayers' money, but again, it's not near the proposal we have on the table, so that's a huge concern for us. And look, I suppose the reason pig farmers wouldn't have been getting cap payments was obviously, pig farming in Ireland is mainly, based on a small amount of hectares. It's confined to the buildings, and farmers wouldn't have been. If we go back to prior to decoupling, farmers wouldn't have had pigs out in fields, and pigs were never included in the CAP payments anyway. So we haven't, that's not the issue we have. The issue is, we want to continue doing or running the businesses as we have been doing in the past, but we're at a critical juncture here that we do need to get support from our government to get the system back up and running again.